Hey guys, I just wanted to come on and clarify some things that have been brought to my attention and that I've noticed myself with the posts that I've been making. First, I just want to give a little background of who I am, how I was raised, who I was raised by, and a little history on my life. So first and foremost, I'm about, give or take, 50%, maybe a little more, maybe a little less European. I'm not going to go off the 23andMe results that have been given to me, but I know that I have ancestry quite a bit in Europe: Poland, Ireland, UK, Germany, all of a lot of different areas in Europe, Spain, Portugal. Okay. I'm also African. I have a lot of different African lineage that runs within me, as well as South American. Or Islander, however. So yeah, I'm pretty much a conundrum of weaving around the world, pretty much. My mother, her mom she's passed now, but her biological mother is white. European, Irish, Polish. From what we know, we don't have all the details of everything. Her father is African American, from what we know. I've never seen a picture of the man. She doesn't even know who exactly her father is. So, yeah. My mother was adopted at 9 years old by a Southern Baptist white family that were very, in my opinion, racist. They adopted all children of color, and they were kind of missionaries around the state, and they held space in a church way. But pretty much they abused the system of adopting colored and disabled children to receive money and also for their labor. The mother was not able to have kids of her own, so adoption was what she wanted to do, but picking them out of a catalog like, oh, this one is good, and seeing the money that could be curated from adopting these specific children, not just any children, but they specifically adopted the children they could so that they could receive governmental checks and their benefits, because they knew if they adopted children of color, children that came from troubled situations or abusive homes or had behavioral issues or other disabilities, that they would get paid more. Also, they always just worked with the church, so money was always provided some way through the church. They always had what they needed. But the children that they adopted, which was a total of 9, they definitely used them for labor, and these children did not have the highest representation or aspect of what a loving home is. Pretty much in their eyes, they were taken in away from their homes with this family that mentally, physically, and emotionally abused them and used them to cater to what they had going on. So for the church, they had them working in the church, teaching them service, we're going to take, and they changed their names. For example, my mother's middle name is Kenya, but they changed it to Elizabeth. Okay, so I just want to say that part. My uncle Sean, his full name is Shondell, and they changed it to just Sean because it was suited them better. But I just want the main one, my mom, middle name from Kenya to Elizabeth. Her name is, I'm not going to tell her first name. She's a Virgo. She's Capricorn moon, very private person. But anyways, yeah, I just wanted to disclose that type of information from my background of history with colonial mindsets. I personally, my father is Cuban and Black from what I know. He has some mixes in there. And I did not grow up around my Cuban family. I was moved to Maine with my mom when I was very young, 1 year old. And I was raised pretty much by the adoptive family that my mom had, which was white, as well as my brother's father's family, so my stepdad's family, who also is white. So I grew up in spaces that weren't necessarily like all the way my blood ties. Oh, that's always been me, like very tribal person that kind of weaves and works through many different cultures and many different race groups. I've always been that since I was little, and my mom as well. It's like all she knows because she has never known. She has memories of with her mom, but not really of her father and her other family members. So, yeah, I just want to have that background with the ways that I grew up and the situations that I grew up, the people that I grew up around. And, I was loved. I was very much loved. But I always had felt like the love was conditional, if that makes sense. Like, oh, we gave you this home, little colored girl. We gave you this lifestyle, little colored girl. You should be thankful to us. You should be thankful to us for giving you this opportunity, little colored girl. Because if it wasn't for us, you would be where the rest of the colored people are. Pretty much is how I grew up with that always lingering around me. I always felt like I had to be on my P's and Q's and that I was like the black sheep. And I always have been the black sheep. So I just want to point out my background first before I get into what I'm going to say, because I want everyone to know where the things that I say about white people stem. And when I say white people and colonizers, I'm not addressing all white people. But I will say a lot of white folk have been raised with colonial mindset and not even realizing it. And how would they know? How would they know that, like you as a white person, how would you know? I have even thought colonially because that is how I was raised. A majority of my life, I hated the ways that I looked because I was always called black girl. And I knew I wasn't just black. I just didn't know all parts of myself. But I had different colored hair and I tanned skin easier than the other kids. And my mother was darker skinned. So I grew up in an environment where I was projected on a lot. And it made me dislike myself for being different and looking different. So yeah, I just want to say the background before now what I'm going to get into say, because I've offended some people and I don't want to be offensive. I want to be honest, and if I offend you with my honesty, it's not my intention, but maybe your ego is bruised and you need to get more soulfully into the lesson that I'm saying, because I'm not addressing all white folk. In a way, I kind of am, because as people with lighter privilege, even myself, I have colonial ties, not only by the people I was raised by, but in my blood. But I do my work. The difference is that I do my work. I'm not saying, oh, that's not my fault. Oh, I wasn't there. I wasn't there. That was my ancestors. I do my part because I'm a citizen occupying this space now. And the knowledge that I do have is here for a reason. And I'm here to change things. And I'm here to use my lighter skin privilege for a reason. And I'm going to use my experience and speak through my experience for a reason. And I don't mean to offend anyone that is Caucasian or identifies as white, but I want people to understand the white supremacy that has happened, the colonial supremacy that is still happening and has been happening. And it happens so much because nobody understands it. No one understands how a colonial mindset operates, or how a colonial mindset works, or how me just wearing a headdress for a costume or looking whatever is offensive to other cultures, because these people were ripped their headdresses off, they were murdered, they were massacred, their culture was stripped away by those ancestors. And to have the nerve and the mockery, it's just a disrespect. And it just shows how many people live in the ego and they don't live in their soul. And time is not linear. I don't care if this slavery happened and whatever else years ago, because we still have things to this day that represent that system. And if you're a white person and you're telling me that it's not happening, I'm gonna laugh at you, because it's not true. And you don't really have a point to speak on it as a white person, because you will never know what it's like to not be a not white person. The things that I do, yes, somewhat to all white people, but it really is to the elite colonial mindset people. And I'm sorry, but if you have a mind like, oh, I didn't do that, None of us did that. But we're here occupying the now, and we're here to correct it now. And that's what I am here preaching to. I'm not like, oh, white people, white people, white people, because I'm even speaking to myself. I have to catch myself and correct myself because I don't even notice sometimes the privilege that I get because of, one, the ways that I talk. I talk very proper or white, whatever that even means, and the color of my skin. And it's because of the people that I was raised around. The ways that I operate, I was raised around a bunch of different groups, but more predominantly white folk. So that's the part of me that shows the most probably throughout my first demeanor when you first meet me, my first impression. But I'm not going to be ignorant to the fact that there are people that are darker than me that get treated differently than me just because they're darker. And I'm not going to say that racism doesn't exist, because it still does. I even still receive different types of I'm in this skin, in this body, I have this hair, I have these features, I have this representation of me. So I don't really want to upset people or offend people. That's not my aim here. It's not, all white people. It's colonial mindset of not weaving and taking part in doing our work. The difference is, if you're a white person here and you occupy land and you have resources and all of this, you are supposed to be working as an ally. You're supposed to be weaving with others. Weaving. I see a big scope that probably a lot of you don't see because you're not a woman. You're either not a woman or you're not a woman of color. And those two things, having them weaved together, is huge for a perception breakthrough. I'm trying to create perception breakthroughs here, and a lot of people brought it to my attention and were offended when I said white people and colonizers. And I'm not saying just because you're white or just because you have blood from somewhere else that you're a colonizer. But if you have the mindset of entitlement or the mindset of, that's not mine, I didn't do this, so I'm not going to do anything about it, you're pretty much standing with white supremacy. You're saying you don't have a role here as a person with lighter privilege, lighter skin privilege, and you're not using it. I don't care if you're poor or if you're rich. If you're lighter skin, you still have privilege. People can still look at you and perceive you a certain type of way because of the color of your skin. And you're never going to know that if you're not white, if that makes sense. Like, my articulation isn't the best, and I don't want to be taken ever wrongly with what I say, because I am here as an educator. I am here to share through my experience. I'm a mixed person. I'm a gypsy. I'm very tribal. If anything, I don't just identify as anything. It's just I am a cosmic being here occupying a human body here to do my work. But we have to get over the little ego representations, because you might identify as white. You take offense to it. It's like, why am I taking offense to this? Why am I taking offense to this as a white person? Or should I be listening to this person's hurt, this person's struggle, and understanding where these emotions are stemming from? That's why I made this video, so there's a little bit more background on the things that I say. And it's not just coming out of anger, but it's coming out of exhaustion of this system, exhaustion of exploiting of people of color, especially children. My mother's story is the most inspiring to me, just because ever since I was little, I was like her little therapist, and she just always rant about these people and how she was abused. It's a lot of trauma in the cellular system. And I myself, as a mixed person, have been exploited in certain types of ways, like, oh, this is who you are in your blood, so you're my slave. You're going to work for me in this way. And that's not the way it is. I'm here to tell people that this is the system that is breaking. Just because of the color of your skin or where you come from, you're supposed to clean my house, or you're supposed to clean up after me, or, I'm the queen, you're the slave, I'm the king, you're the slave. That's what has to go. That's the mentality, the structure that I'm breaking, because it's false. It's not true. And I'm sick of seeing it. And I'm sick of people mocking different cultures and not having respect when these people are literally still struggling because of all that shit that happened years ago. Even though people are like, oh, that wasn't me, that wasn't my ancestors, da 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 da, people need to get over it. I'm sorry, but these displaced people, still are affected to this day from what has taken place years and years and years and years ago. So our job, yes, it is our job to correct it, regardless if you were directly there or directly affected or not. As a decent human being, to correct karmic bullshit that maybe is in our line, it's our job to do our work and break ancestral curses. And if you're arguing with me about, you're getting all caught up on the small details, you're missing my point. And I'm sorry that you're offended. It's not meant to offend you. But maybe get out of your ego and look at the bigger picture here. Your people weren't displaced. You don't have this suffering because of that. And maybe you were, because I'm talking to elite colonial mindset folk. And it doesn't even mean white, necessarily mean white, but it's a lot of white privilege. For example, I worked with a person that called herself a healer and a feminine empowerment leader and all of this, but she always would compare us and try to make me manipulate my mind into thinking I was less than because I was not full white, that she was more pure than me because she was white or 100% European, blonde hair, blue eyes, and always tried to portray oh, white is pure. White is pure. And I'm sorry, but that is the most impure thing as a human being that you can do, is try to manipulate your superiority over someone because of the color of your skin or where they come from or the background that they come from. Because I'm pretty sure what identifies your character and your pureness as a being is how you hold space for others and how you make them feel. If you make them feel less than because of the color of your skin, you are the worst. Yeah. I just wanted to clarify that because I've offended some people, and y'all know that I'm not out here trying to just make people upset and offend people. And I am 54% on 23andMe European. So I'm not, but the thing is, I do my work. I educate people. I help others of all races because race is an illusion to me. It always has been because I've never fit in one category. So I'm just I'm everything. I'm all of it. But I still see it. So it's still here. Just because you may not see it because you're a white person and your friend group is predominantly white and you don't hang around other people to get a scope of difference in the world, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to weave and bridge the bridge of the fucking differences that we have. And I'm sorry to offend people. It's not to be offensive. Please just look at the message that I'm portraying in a way that is of weaving and to break illusions. When I say these things, it's to correct people. Do not wear headdresses that did not originate from your culture, because these people were murdered and killed for wearing their shit. They were scalped. Their hair was cut and made into wigs for white people to take their beauty and to take their essence for themselves, okay? This is deeper than probably anyone can realize, and it comes down to hatred and not accepting difference. And hatred is a sickness. Supremacy is hatred. Thinking you're better than someone else because of your skin, your finances, whatever it is, where you grew up, how you grew up. We all have something to teach each other here. Not one person or race is better than the other. We are here to learn from each other. And it's time for us to understand that. No one person is here to dominate anyone else. And you're not more. You are white does not make you more pure than any other bloodline. Just because I'm lighter skinned than someone darker skinned doesn't mean I'm more pure than them. That's the sick shit that needs to get out of the mind, because it's a program that the government has been programming our people with. All governments, all this, that have this type of boxing people in a way, or we're going to program you. Oh, if they live in this neighborhood, we're going to put these liquor stores in the ghettos and dumb these people down. We're going to put chemtrails over these certain neighborhoods, knowing that there's black folks here or Spanish folks here, to dumb them down so that they are controlled and perceived and stereotyped in a certain way. And I'm here to break those illusions. I'm here to wake y'all up, and I just don't want my message confused. So that's why I'm making this video. I love you all so much. I'm here to educate. I'm here to weave. I'm here to learn as well. I have a lot to learn as well. And I'm always going to be a student of this earth and of this life and of this humanship here. Cleared up anything, any bad feelings towards me, because, I don't identify with just one race or another. I just feel within my bones, and always have, I am African American. I am Latin. You know, I am Spanish, South American. I have this blood running in me, and my people, my ancestors that work through me are calling me to do my work. So if it offends you, speak to me about it, because I love to talk. I love to explain myself, and you can help educate me. That's why I'm even making this video, because I realize I've offended people because I didn't word things all the way correctly. So thank you for bringing it to my attention, and I'm learning to, I will speak better, and I will address these things better, and not just classify as all white people, because that's not what I mean, and I'm part white, so that makes no sense. I was raised by white people, you know, it makes no sense at all. But yeah, I hope this makes sense. And I hope this clarifies any of the ill feelings. I hope this clears any of the ill feelings or sour taste that I might have left in anyone's mouth, because that's not my goal. Just sometimes when people just listen to the details of the words that I'm saying, I don't articulate too much on them. So I'll do a lot better with explaining exactly who I'm addressing and what I'm addressing. It's mostly the appropriation and the supremacy of people. It's not in the colonial mindset, because it makes our earth sick. Anything that is colonial to the world is hurting our earth. It's hurting our planet. It's hurting our development as a species. It's making us more cyborg and less earth beings. So that's why I'm so against colonial mindset, because it's changing us from natural human to more robotic human, if that makes sense. And yes, we're supposed to weave and use technology and use it as a force to weave into one, but one is not supposed to dominate the other. And if there was anything, it should be the earth, the naturalness of things, because that's what's natural. Things are under threat right now, not only just our earth, but also I posted a video the other day about farmers and what they're facing, all of these different regulations that is really going to make an even bigger food shortage. Natural food is what they're trying to get away to use whatever inorganic sources that they're putting out for our nutrients. And why wouldn't we want the most natural form of nutrients that we can get? We don't want artificial food. We don't want processed crap. We already have enough of that. That is what causes all these ailments and diseases, and is changing, literally mutating our DNA. So why would we want to contribute to that? We should be wanting to contribute to the earth. We are on Mother Earth. I think we forget like how powerful this planet is and all the beauty that she bestows and gives us. We can literally grow our own medicine cabinets and grow our own food. Of a powerful, loving being in my heart to like submit to hate ever. I'll never allow that to consume me, because I see what it does to people. It changes people, it changes their nature, and it's just not a pleasant energy to be around. But I am here to eradicate delusions and twisted things and illusions that don't stem from naturalness and natural resources, because loving yourself fully for who you are and what you are, regardless of whatever you've been through, and not changing yourself to fit into some type of standard or to fit in. You don't have to change yourself to fit in. You change yourself if you want to change yourself and become a better person. But you shouldn't be changing yourself to look a certain way or be a certain way just to be accepted by people. That's not natural. That's artificial happiness. You need things outside of you to make you happy. We should be wanting to make ourselves happy. We should be wanting to make ourselves happy from within. Like, true happiness comes from within and radiates out. And people can feel that. You can feel when someone really loves themselves, because they just feel like an amazing person. You just want to be around that person a lot, because it's like, this person has like radiating energy. I don't know where it comes from. It's nothing outside of themselves. It's them. It's called that self-work. It's called they're working on themselves to make themselves happy with themselves. They're discovering what makes them happy. They're discovering what things they can do to create an inner world of peace, which radiates to an outer world of peace. It's nothing external that they're getting from other people. What helps me feel better and happy? Helping people. I don't feel good when I'm not in service. I don't feel good when I'm accumulating too much and I'm getting too much for myself. It actually makes me sick. So I would rather be putting out my energy and servicing people. It's all about the balance, though. Again, balance is all about shadows and light and understanding the in-between and how to get from one to the other. If we have a shadow about races, let's transmute that and get that out of the way so we can move from hate to love, so we can move from darkness to light. But that takes work. And no, we shouldn't be staying. When we're staying in our darkness, that means that we're feeding our illusions, and we'd rather believe our illusions and manipulations and everything we've been told our whole lives than actually do the work to get to the light and transmute the shadow of that light. That's what pure balance is being in that space in between, being able to observe this is a shadow and this is the light of that shadow. And that's the most powerful space that you can be in. It's a pure understanding as well of duality, which everybody embodies. We're in Gemini season, sweeties. So let's get the shadow work understood so that we can be our highest and our lightest. Sick of everyone trying to find a reason outside of themselves than to take responsibility and be a good person. Like, we all have the work to do and no one wants to do it. No one wants to do the hard work that is needed to be done to actually break down a system and create better. No one wants to do that work. Like, we all want to talk about how we hate this, how we hate gas prices, how we hate this, how we hate how this society is, but no one wants to get up and change it and talk about the ways that it needs to change. Not even just talking about it, but actually doing it. A lot of people are gardening and working with the earth, which is wonderful and great, but are you bringing in food and access to those that don't have it so that it's easier for them to be able to have a healthy lifestyle too? Because the government has it programmed to where they put certain shitty food out in certain areas of poverty so that they're not healthy, so it dumbs them down. Like, stuff that I'm talking about. If you're a person that's like saying, oh, that's not me, I didn't do that, but you're also not putting in your hands to correct anything and be like a changer or be the change that you want to see in the world, then you're being compliant. You're not doing anything to help anybody by staying compliant. I'm not going to be compliant unless I want to be, and not just that I want to be, that it feels aligned and it feels right. But if I have a duty to do something and I have the ability to do something and shed light, love, inspiration, enlightenment, money, resources, healthy food into somewhere that doesn't have it, I will fucking do that over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, because that's me being a pure channel of God and love in my embodiment as a human being here. I'm not gonna play the game. I'm not gonna play the game. I'm gonna outsmart the game. And I'm gonna hopefully inspire others to do the same. To clarify that. I want to clarify a lot. There's a lot coming up, and that I can't just anymore, because I'm not doing my job if I do that. I have a really important voice. I have a lot to fucking say. I have a lot of experience here, a lot of knowledge. I have a lot to learn as well, but my perspective on things is very vast. I have a puzzle piece from nearly so many parts. I have a lot of puzzle pieces. Not all of them. I'm looking for the others, but I have a lot to contribute. And we have to get over the small ego things that don't serve us and get out of your small human ego mindset and be, how can I be a help? How can I be a service to this? How can I eradicate this myself? Because we are all a part of this here. We all have a duty here. I don't care if you weren't there and you didn't do this and you're not a racist. I don't care. What are you doing with that power is what I care about. That's what I fucking care about. Womb hurts. My womb hurts so much lately. I'll get more into the endometriosis stuff, because I have a lot spiritually to weave in with that. I have a lot to talk about. I've been going through this since I've started my cycles, but more intimately since 17 when I had my first surgery. But I have so much to share on endometriosis and what it actually represents, and how artificial things are not supposed to be here that are affecting our planet, the womb of Earth. I'm just hypersensitive to it. People with endometriosis, there's so many young women with endometriosis, infertility problems. Why? Look at the diets. Look at what is being pumped into us. Physically, emotionally, energetically, music, TV, programming of all kinds. We weren't built to sustain this. I will not stop saying that. That's the only message I've gotten since I came back from Peru. This is not right.